Good evening, everybody. This video right here is being brought to you because of a comment left on the Haiti Sentinel Facebook page by a floor tree floor. Um, it was a very smart comment, and it was one that actually provoked me to think about this situation a little bit deeper than I had before. And I'm going to get to that comment eventually, but first let me just set the table and tell you guys what we're talking about. We're talking about the protests that go on every year. You know, I've been following Haiti quite closely for a decade now, since 2009. And this is something that happens every year on the anniversary of July 28th, which is when the United States decided they would occupy Haiti back in 1915. And if you don't know much about that, there is a very excellent video documentary that we published to the Haiti Sentinel Facebook page on yesterday evening that you can go check out. But the whole purpose was to rewrite the Haitian Constitution because back then the Haiti had laws such as if you're black, if you're black from any country around the world, you could become a citizen. If as a citizen, you could own property. If you were a foreigner, if you were white, you could not own property in Haiti. You could not have a business in Haiti. You could not. I believe you could not have a business, but I believe you can trade. I believe we were always open for trade and stuff. But there were those types of laws in place in order to obviously balance out everything that had come from the whatchamacallit, from the transatlantic slave trade. And the United States was very much in its Jim Crow days back in 1915. So it's a bit hypocritical and if you don't know what Jim Crow is, Jim Crow was a series of laws that basically kept African Americans out of the economic system in America, out of the civic and economic system in America. So Haiti was a balance towards that, if anything, in this hemisphere. But continuing on, so that's what the occupation was all about, and we are still occupied to this day. Do not get it twisted. We are very much occupied, and I would say Miss Flora's comments are actually just reinforced that for me. But it was something I already believed. But let's continue on. So every year, the goal is to protest in front of the U.S. Embassy. I have seen us. There was only one year I can say we actually got close, and this was actually out of my just memory. I picked this up that we got close. This was in 2014, and just off memory, I remember this is the closest that we got, and this was on November, so it wasn't on the anniversary, but it's not quite often that we are able to get to protests in front of the U.S. Embassy in Haiti. So usually it ends in the way you see here: tear gas, police, riot gear. They're breaking things up. They don't allow it. And what Miss Floor basically said in her comment was, this is very counterproductive on the part of the government. Why can't they protest in peace on a significant anniversary? So there is no freedom of assembly in Haiti, is what she said. And what got me thinking was, what does the government gain by doing this? Because what really happens is the people going to go in front of the U.S. Embassy. Haitians is not going to climb the fence. All right, we're not scaling any walls to try to get into the embassy to, you know, uh, cause harm to the U.S. ambassador. That's not going to happen. Now, that also reminds me something else I should have mentioned about the 1915 occupation order. Haiti was kind of destabilized at the time, but there's so much more. I could talk for a good long hour sharing the backstory of how that destabilization developed. But yeah, yeah, just don't. But that's not what this discussion is about. But let's continue on. So I'm trying to think. To answer her question, why would the government see it productive to just stop the people from gathering in front of the U.S. Embassy? They're going to obviously be in front of the news cameras. Speakers are going to come out, say their piece. Nobody's going to scale the walls. Nobody's going to try to cause harm. Like, Haitians are a very peaceful people. From I would have never thought this before 2009 when I actually started paying attention. Growing up in the U.S., watching CNN, you would have thought, hey, my people are wild, they buck wild or whatever. But one thing I've learned from actually paying attention, we are a very peaceful people, more peaceful than we should be. And I'm going to leave that right there. But continuing on, so that none of that's going to happen. So what does the government gain by, violently wanting to break up the protests? Is it embarrassing for the U.S. Embassy? That's what I've always thought before Miss Flores' comment. I always felt like, it's embarrassing for the U.S. Embassy. So they don't want to. They don't want to. They don't want to be. They don't want to be having the Zoes out in front of the building protesting and that be on the news. The ambassador doesn't want that. And I've always thought that was it, but no. When you think about what's more embarrassing, that they had to tear gas the people to keep them from reaching the embassy, as if the people actually wanted to do some harm to the embassy. Like, is that the type of image that they would want, that the ambassador, that the U.S. State Department would want of their presence in Haiti? And I know that doesn't work either. So what is the purpose? And I've come to the conclusion that the purpose for why this happens every year is simply for humiliation. And our police officers are playing into it. That is the only, other purpose I could find. They want to show that our police officers, which are funded and trained by the U.S., by the State Department, by the United Nations forces, which are also funded by the United States government, they just want to show who's in charge. There's no other reason for it. They don't want us to ever feel comfortable in our own country that we could have a peaceful protest in front of the embassy and say what we might. That's it. It's really that simple. And our officers, our government is all playing into it. Now, I've done a lot of this stuff out of memory, and my memory is quite good. I remember of the Haitian Law of 1988, and I remember a news report I heard earlier in the week where So the law in 1988 that was written, and I'm quite sure it was 1988. But what it is basically it says before a protest, and I really didn't like this law because I'd rather people just be allowed to freely protest. Because I mean, you shouldn't regulate that. If the public has something they want to express, we should not be trying to control that or in any way hinder that, But and I still don't agree with it, But I guess in a country where security resources are limited and you have you have a lot of disparity. It's like on a boiling point where people are just at their wits' end. I kind of understand why. I still don't, but I'm willing to accept that. Hey, the law says that if you're gonna have a protest, you have to notify the police of the protest. And what the law requires is that the police just be notified. It doesn't require you ask the police for permission. You're just notifying them. And what the police can do then is, okay, you say, hey, we're going to take this street, that street, up this street, down this street. They say, okay, this is where you're going to go. Maybe we might have to block this up, block off some road so that you could get there. Or maybe we may have to, they take dispositions necessary just to make sure that, not only the protest goes on well, where, people aren't getting hit by traffic or anything like that, but also that, people who do not intend to participate in the protest, they could still drive where they're trying to go and be able to function. And, all that is all fine and dandy in a situation where we actually have votes in Haiti. I think it works very perfectly. But again, that's another topic for another day I'll go into. So that's what the law is. But what happened this week is a group of organizations, as they do every year this happens. They tell the police, hey, this is where we're protesting. We're trying to get to the embassy to protest in front of it. And every year they tell them, no, we're not going to let you go up there. Why? Who knows? It's not their right. It's not the police right to tell you that you can't, where you can or cannot protest. They only need to be notified. And I was lucky enough to find the report from that day, and I'm going to actually play it for you guys in a moment. Actually, let me play it for you right now. I'm going to let you guys listen to it. Just listen then.
Plusieurs organisations politiques qui dans opposition, tant que collectif organisation politique ak syndical COPS, association pêcheurs pour développement d'Haïti APDH, dénoncé représentant SDPA Fred Joseph dans direction police dans l'Ouest, il dit qu'il refusait accepter notification pour manifestation et opposition prévoit pour faire et dimanche 28 juillet qui a venu là. Non conférence pour la presse, porte-parole organisation politique ça yo, Saint-Fleur, Edouard Saint-Fleur, annoncé y a kembe même parcours te prévoit pour manifestation. Il déclaré la police pas gain droit pour la fixer parcours manifestation. Edouard Saint-Fleur déclaré c'est Fred Joseph qui est responsable si tu as gagné dommage dans occasion manifestation, il parler de dommages collatéraux. Et président APDH nan Edi Africa d'Orsainville ak responsable communication André Chonel dénonce ingérence communauté internationale la fait dans affaires politiques paysan. L'un après l'autre, n'attendé Edouard Saint-Fleur et puis avec Edi Africa d'Orsainville et ensemble avec André Chonel qui est responsable diverses organisations nous citées dans commencement introduction.
nous profiter dénoncer Fred Joseph, qui c'est représentant SDPA dans DDO, qui refusait accepter notification pour manifestation 28 juillet. Et bien, côté Fred Joseph dit, sous l'ordre palais national, sous l'ordre forum économique, sous l'ordre ambassade américaine, yo bal l'ordre pour que manifestation pas passer sous route aéroport. Mais nous-mêmes, ensemble des organisations politiques de l'opposition et tout l'autre allié dans l'opposition, nous dit à Fred Joseph, donc, pas qu'on nous a toujours maintenu. Pas qu'on nous a toujours maintenu parce qu'on a rappelé la police nationale d'Haïti a comme mission protéger et servir. Qui donc, la police pas qui doit pour le dire nous, mais qui côté pour manifester, à qui côté pour ne pas manifester. Donc, nous-mêmes, nous dit, son manifestation pacifique, et n'a pas passé aéroport, donc la police a pour mission pour assurer sécurité manifestation. Et n'a dit tout dommage collatéraux, eh bien c'est Fred Joseph Cap responsable parce que c'est lui-même qui refusait et recevoir donc lettre notification. Donc nous dit parcours manifestation, lieu de rassemblement, c'est place Papa de Saline. Oui Capois, Lalu, Wilama, Sans Fil, Kafou Payant, Delma 18, autoroute de Delma, Kafou aéroport, route de l'aéroport, Toamé, tout le monde cap sorti Cité Soleil, eh bien y a bien pour y rassembler, pour y retendre nous Toamé, pour ne passer par Gérald Bataille, Kafourita, Fleurio, boulevard 15 octobre pour aboutir devant ambassade américaine.
Sorti sous Guy Philippe, gros mercenaire criminel, que blanc américain te bail gros âme loup pour touyer policier nous yo ak peuple haïtien sous prétexte yo pas de vle petitide. Eh ben blanc criminel yo te vinn chercher Guy Philippe tant qu'on yon vaurien après qu'elle te fin élu sénateur. Mettez sous toute l'autre pile actes criminels que ambassade américaine a fait dans le pays d'Haïti ensemble avec dossier 7 mercenaires blancs américains te vinn en Haïti pour vinn touyer peuple haïtien en tête avec gros bal loup. Eh ben journée jodi a c'est avec chef gang Anel Joseph qui a monté film pour yo capable passer peuple là nan fatra. Eh ben, journée jodi a, yo prend yon colonne malfecteur qui associé avec blanchisseur l'argent qui inculpe Jovenel Moïse pour vinn fin déchet piller peuple haïtien dans misère grand goût que lié a. Nous dit ça c'est assez. C'est trop à tort. Jovenel Moïse pas gen aucun respect pour moun, pour personne moun dans pays a. Nous pas accepter yo et nous attend yo devant marché pour nous ba yo monnaie pièce yo parce que journée jodi a, nous pas accepter aucun gouvernement criminel blanchisseur pour vinn piller nous encore.
Massacre qui fait dans la Saline, Carrefourfeuille, Grand Ravine, massacre qui fait dans Bicentenaire, dans Tokyo, crime qui continue fait en dans Vallée la Tibonite, en dans 10 départements pays. Faut que la population haïtienne continue prendre la rue monter barricade yo. L'enga de Jovenel Moïse non cité environ 69 fois dans un rapport Cour supérieure des comptes. Non, nous chez ça cité 69 fois dans un rapport. Pour raison ça yo.
All right, I'm just gonna stop the. There's actually, obviously, there's more to be said, but it doesn't really have to do directly with this aim to protest at the embassy. But yeah. So I mean, you basically heard it right there. You know, I guess because I hadn't listened to the entire report. Like even when it was going on, it was just in the background. I think I was at the gym at the time or something. But as you can see, I guess they tried to cut them off early at near the airport so that they can't reach the U.S. embassy. But yeah, as a response to Madame Floor, like it's simply a humiliation. It's a humiliation, people. That is what they intend to do. They are doing to us. And I would wonder if it were Haitian Americans, us, people over here in the U.S., in Canada, were to organize a protest in front of the U.S. Embassy next year, would the police react the same exact way? You know, I'd like to, I'd like to test their hand on that. You know, and I mean, it's a bunch of things we got to do. Like I think I end every video this way. It's just basically telling you there are a lot of things we have to do, folks. There are a lot of things we have to do. Things are bad. The ultimate vision is to have a Haiti where, by the time we are senior citizens, we are in our 70s, we can actually go back and relax and not have to worry about security, not have to worry about, the country burning up while we're trying to relax in our old age, where our kids could probably have businesses there by then. And our grandkids, maybe they can go to school in Haiti rather than have to go to school in the U.S. because supposedly the education is better. That is the vision, man. That is what I'm trying to do with this. And I know some people, they like to do petitions. Some people, they like to do charities, but me, I personally believe petitions don't serve a purpose. I think they only further empower the group that is being that the petition is in reference to. I think it just continues to show what power they have over us. And obviously charity doesn't work because it doesn't empower people. I do believe in crowdsourcing now, and which is what I always try to tell you guys. Join the Patreon, send to the Cash App at Samuel Maxime. Any way you can, because what we have to do is empower ourselves. Okay? And we empower ourselves not through 501c3s or through petitions, but we empower ourselves by empowering our voices, coming together, and actually taking power and building. All right, so that's all I want to do. Drop that little line. Spawn to Miss Floor about this. It's a humiliation, and for the past decade, I've watched this happen year after year, and it's always seemed to be, they're scared, they don't want us in front of the embassy. But now I see it's just a backhand to the face that they're orchestrating, where our own police officers won't let us peacefully go in front of the U.S. Embassy to voice what we disagree with. They don't want the world to know. But they do want the world to see what they've done here today, what they've shown here today. All right, that's the end, y'all. Remember, support. I do expect to have bigger lives in the future. And when I say bigger lives, I'm talking about I'm actually going to go on camera. We're going to have phone lines so that you guys could call in. We're going to discuss, maybe go a few hours, discuss some serious stuff, and actually put plans in action. It's the whole reason why, we're reconstructing everything. Because I want to be able to create avenues where we could really have impact. The Haiti Sentinel is all about information, and I hope to build a team around it so that we could have a regular dissemination of information for our people in English. But we also have Change Haiti, and the name is under dispute. But that's going to be boots to the ground. That's going to be where what we do, we actually try to make things happen with. We also have Bell Bottle. I might as well mention that now. But Bell Bottle is a little playful that I'm working on. It's an app. It's basically for events. If you're trying to find your compa spot, whatever's going on, and you're trying to do a little dating. So it's an events and dating app. Something fun. But it's all under the umbrella of Defend Haiti. I want these things to bring us together, wisen us up, and actually give us power to actually make things happen, and economic power as well. So definitely support it. Much to come. All right, let me go. Call it a night. Good night.